Bookish friends. I'm going to bring you the second half of my December wrap-up because I read 7 books in the second half of December. Or finished. And that brings my total for the month up to 19. It's so much. I had to add a little extra to my reading journal for December. So I'm going to leave this open so I can remember the 2 ebooks I finished this month, both of which I borrowed from my library. The first was Kisseltoe Misses. I got as a free ebook in December. The author was giving it away. So excited. This was on my TBR for it's been on my I want to read since last year. Want to read list since last year. Wow, words are not wording today. This book, it just pokes fun at all of the Hallmark movies and romancy books for Christmas. And it's great that it was just poking fun at itself. And Johanna, her great aunt and great uncle are getting up in age, and they ask her to come try out the farm for at least the Christmas season, hopefully a year, to decide if she wants to take it over so they can retire. And she's escaping a kind of bad situation, and her cousins are like, you know what, we'll go with you and we'll stay through Christmas and help you get settled in and help, I think the great aunt's name is Mary, Merry, and it was just a great fun Christmas book read. And okay, these are in reverse order. I finished Winter Heart by H.D. Fox. This is actually the first book in a series, which I didn't know till after I had asked for it and received it for Christmas last year. This was the last book I got for Christmas last year, and that I needed to read, and I read it. I read all my books I got for Christmas last year. And this is a fantasy book. We have, the names are Irish. Neve is the first girl, is the female. The spelling totally does not match how I would say it, so I struggled a bit. And Fane was easy. She is an apprentice to the Grand Mage? Head Mage. And when the king gets married, his queen's cousin decides she wants to be an apprentice to the head mage, and they kind of are rivals. Eventually their friendship develops, and then Fane, he is a prince of a neighboring country, and he goes hunting with a friend and some guards, and things start happening, so he ends up hiding out in what's the country? Pronunciation guides are helpful. No, Ira. And it's great. I really enjoyed it. There is a prequel novella that I'm thinking about reading, and book 2 is supposed to come out in March of 2026. We shall see. And I finished another ebook, The Christmas Tree Farm by Melody Carlson. Shatona recommended it in one of her letter a day for the month of December, where somebody was writing in asking for advice, and then the answer for like 1934, and then she had book recommendations after each letter, either something she read or wanted to read for Christmas or winter, and this was one of them. Oh, I'm blanking on names. I know Gavin was the guy's name. Was it first person? I want to say it started with an M. Anyway, I think I was starting to get burned out on Christmas books at this point. I didn't enjoy this one quite so much. The main character, she moves back home after teaching in Mongolia for 5 years, and her sister, who had kind of been there to take care of dad and grandpa and grandma as they got sick and died. Maybe the dad was taking care of the grandparents and he died. And anyway, everybody died. And the sister wants to sell, but the whole reason main character came home was because she wanted to live and work a Christmas tree farm. And so she's like, give me the season, I'll show you if it can be profitable, and then we'll decide in the spring if we're gonna sell or not. And yeah, I thought the romance part was a bit abrupt, changing from the sister is interested in the guy that the main character dated in high school, and then she's like, well, he chose me, so I'm gonna date him. That felt kind of abrupt, but I mean, it was a Christmas book and it was shorter than 200 pages, so there was that one. I did finish reading The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady by Edith Holden. I took not quite a year to read this, and it was lovely to just pick a day or an afternoon each month and just read through the pages for the month and see the gorgeous illustrations, learn the names of some plants, see what the weather was like. Yeah, it was great. For some reason, the first time I read it, I only gave it 4 stars, but it's awesome. So I bumped it up to 5 on Goodreads. Then, again, I was starting to get burned out on Christmas books when I picked this one up, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna read it because it's been on my shelf, and I just want to read it, and I'm not gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna probably put it in a little free library. We have Anna. She's been hiding out in Brazil, working at an orphanage because she used to be an FBI agent, and something with her last case went really wrong, and she ended up shot. And yeah, so she's hiding out. And Dr. Lucas, he went to Brazil after his brother died in a horrific accident, and is taking care of the kids and local community in Brazil. And his patient Paulo, who is an orphan, needs a heart transplant, so they travel with Paulo to the hospital, and things ensue, and it was okay. I thought there were some plot holes, inconsistencies, but I read it, and now I can pass it on to somebody else who wants to read it. Oh, and I had another reread for the month, The Heir and the Spare by Kate Stradlin. This, the first time I read it, I gave it 4 stars because it is quite dark, but this is probably one of my most reread books. This was my first time reading a physical copy, but I have the Kindle edition, and I read that at least once a year since it came out. Maybe not necessarily the whole thing, sometimes just my favorite parts. 2021. I know I've read this more than 4 or 5 times. So yeah, bumped that up to 5 stars. We have Iona. She is the second in line for her throne, and her sister Lisanne is awful, and she finds out that her father is working on a treaty with combining their country with another country, and the crown prince was somebody at the school she went to, and he was awful, but that was kind of just the nature of the school she went to, and she wants to just wish them well and hope that this guy takes her sister away and she can breathe freely for part of her life, and yeah, things don't necessarily go according to plan. And the last book I finished on New Year's Eve was Further Chronicles of Avonlea. This is a bind up of Chronicles of Avonlea and Further Chronicles of Avonlea, and this one actually had Further Chronicles of Avonlea had 15 short stories, and again, narrator was different every time, but I think the first two were probably my favorites out of the 15. But yeah, I think I may have enjoyed Further Chronicles of Avonlea a little bit more than Chronicles of Avonlea. This was part of Chantel's Year of Maud read along. You could read whatever Maud book you wanted in December, and that's the one I chose. And yes, I gave 9 books 5 stars in December. I chose 2 Tickets to the Christmas Ball as my favorite book, and I believe that was the first one I gave 5 stars in December, but in order to qualify for the favorite book bracket, it has to be a book I had not read before. And I'm going to probably do a video on which books won each month sometime in January. I mean, it is January now. Happy New Year, everyone. And I forgot to mention, with Winterheart, this was the last book on my 25 to read in 2025 list. So, yay, cross off one goal. And I had also chose this for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. December prompt was Frosty, and this is set in a kingdom of perpetual winter. And for the Buzzword cover challenge, the prompt was monochromatic. I'm counting this. It's all blue and white with bits of gold. So I crossed off a lot of goals with this book. And sadly, I did not fill in my book bingo. I was 3 books short, and the one time I tried to do a giveaway, nobody entered. So I think my channel needs to be a little bit bigger for that to actually be successful. And let me see. I did cross off all the books on my TBR. There were 3 of them, but I still didn't cross off the last one until the last day of December. But I definitely would say mood reading was a success with, what would I say, 19 books read in 1 month. I have not read that many books since last year, when I see if I can find it. There was 1 month last year. Oh, I thought there was a month I had to add. I realized 2023. Yep, I think my longest one had 17. I had a couple of them with 17 last year. Now I'm curious. Oh, yeah, it was June. June of 2023 is the last time I read that many books. Let me know what your favorite book of December was. I have plans for other videos. We'll see if we can get them done. But until next week, happy reading!